It just continues to pile up for the New Orleans Saints why this has been the most unattractive head coaching position in decades. Horrible cap space, no franchise quarterback, still searching for your head coach, delusional general manager, passive owner who had to go around the GM to fire Dennis Allen, who's still defending Dennis Allen to this day. Shout out to you, DA, for getting the head defensive coordinator job with the Bears. I hope you do great over there, man, because you did great things for our Saints defense. And you were a great defensive play caller until you weren't in the head coaching years. Joe Brady has officially elected to pass on the Saints head coaching job and stay as offensive coordinator in Buffalo. What does that tell you with Joe Brady being someone that was with us in 2017 when Sean Payton was here? The most recent person that could have been here. Along with Aaron Glenn saying that he didn't want to come be with the Saints because he wanted the Saints to possibly get a new general manager. And he was recently with the Saints in 2020. So now that is two candidates that the Saints have lost out on. And they were both recently in the building and had a chance to be a head coach in the National Football League. And they passed on it. I don't blame them, though. Cliff Kingsbury also elected to stay in Washington. He doesn't want to come fill this head coaching position. No, I don't think Joe Brady or Aaron Glenn or Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, I guess if I had to argue, maybe Aaron Glenn could be cut for this rebuild, but this is a 3-year rebuild. 2 years if you're lucky. We know about the cap situation. We know about the old players. We know about the cap hits. Again, you've heard me talk about it ad nauseum here. It's not an attractive head coaching job. The Saints flew to Philadelphia to interview Kellen Moore as of January 27th, but I'll be honest with you, Kellen Moore's been covered up by the best roster and team in the league. He wasn't good in Dallas. He wasn't good with the Chargers. Yeah, you're freaking out over the fact that he put up 55 points in the conference championship game. But let's think about how he has the best offensive line in the NFL, a top 5 elite quarterback now in Jalen Hurts, the best running back and arguably the best player in the league in Saquon Barkley. And he's got the best defense in the NFL alongside Vic Fangio, helping him along the way. Kellen Moore's not cut out for a rebuild. And I'm going to just tell you that straight up. I mean, honestly, he's not cut out for it. I would love for us to get Kellen Moore as he was very much in his bag this year calling plays, but I don't forget what he did in Dallas. I don't forget what he did with the Chargers. Maybe he'll take the job. He's focused on the Super Bowl, though. We flew up to Philadelphia to interview him. Ooh, the Saints are freaking out about that 55 points that they just put up. Please take it into context. Mickey, Gail, Dennis Lauscha. Please take it into context. Please. He's going to come here and it's going to be the polar opposite. One of the worst rosters in the league. One of the worst general managers because Howie Roseman, take a freaking bow. I mean, Saquon Barkley and Zach Bond in the same offseason? And then you get Vic Fangio, and then you have Saquon and MVP conversations, and then you have Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in Defensive Rookie of the Year competitions. Yeah, it's going to be the complete opposite over here in New Orleans. So, yeah, while I would like to have an offensive mind in Kellen Moore, he's not cut out for this rebuild. Any next coach that comes in is going to be a scapegoat. We know that. We're interviewing Mike McCarthy apparently at the end of this week, but reports are saying that the initial talks were not enamoring. I wonder why. Mike McCarthy probably is just being dead honest with you. He probably doesn't want Mickey Loomis here either. Now, I do think, all things considered, you guys have seen me talk about, I would be grateful and I feel honored to have Mike McCarthy in our coaching situation because he's been in the league. 13 years. 9 of those years he's went to the playoffs. 3 straight 12-win seasons. Super Bowl winner. Experience. If anybody could handle the rebuild, it would be him. 11-11 in the playoffs. Like, Mike McCarthy is arguably the most qualified candidate for this job. It's not saying much. But again, the franchise and the fans should feel honored that Mike McCarthy wants to come here possibly. And I agree with Matt Moscona off of after further review. Like, McCarthy is just waiting for your call for you to say yes. He wants to continue to be a head coach. Hell, I thought that Dallas should have retained him. And then Brian Schottenheimer, really? Clearly it was contract talks. Jerry wanted to have the control, not paying that much money. So whatever, right? But I don't know if McCarthy could handle the rebuild. I don't. And of course the initial talks aren't probably going well because you're the worst situation in the league. You are the worst situation in the National Football League head coaching wise. And clap it up, Mickey Loomis. Clap it up for you telling us that we don't have to sell. We don't have to advertise our job. It'll advertise itself because it's a head coaching position. There's only 32 of them in the greatest sports league in the world. Well, guess what, Mickey? We're the last team to make a hire. We're still looking for that head coach, buddy. Oh, we've got stability. We've got great ownership. Stop lying, please. Stop lying. We haven't won anything since Drew retired, and we knew that it was going to be this ugly. So just stop it. Stop. Please. You're embarrassing yourself. I'd rather you just smack gum and let Dennis Lauscha answer questions or whoever. I don't know. Bring Joe Woods into the presser. I don't know. But this job continues to prove, I mean, when you have 2 offensive coordinators, 3 hot candidates in the coordinator/head coaching market turn away and either go to other teams or stay with their teams, what does that say about your head coaching job, Mickey Loomis? And it's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer that because we all know what it means, which brings me to my final point of this episode. I still think Darren Rizzy should be the hire because he wants to be here and he has the mojo for it. Yes, it's still within the Sean Payton regime, but guess what? You're probably not going to have to pay him a bag. I love Darren Rizzy's attitude and just commitment to the game. He wants to be here. He does. I think all things considered, he would be okay cut out for the rebuild. Now, I understand he's not a head coach. He doesn't really have that head coaching experience, but he was the assistant head coach to Dennis Allen for whatever that's worth. Rizzy showed that fire. And when people inside the locker room like Alvin Kamara, the best player on this team, the most loyal player on this team, are saying that his coach pick is Darren Rizzy, I think that should tell the fans and the franchise everything because he was in the locker room with Darren Rizzy. He was on that 2-game win streak. If you get 3 in a row, then you can call it a streak on back-to-back wins. He had more wins in less weeks than Dennis Allen did in his tenure of 9 weeks with the Saints, winning 2 games and then losing 7 in a row. Darren Rizzy should be the hire here because he wants to be here. He understands the situation, and he's probably not afraid of shying away from it, knowing his attitude. You won't have to pay him a lot. You can make this head coaching search very simple. That's if Darren Rizzy wants the job. So all things considered, right? Like we can understand that. But if it's down to Kellen Moore, Mike McCarthy, and Darren Rizzy, I guess take your pick. But Rizzy should probably be the hire. If the talks aren't going well with Mike McCarthy, and you're going to be jaded by the fact that the Eagles just put up 55 points in an NFC Championship game, not understanding that he's with the best ownership and the best GM and the best roster and the best defense, that's going to cover you up as OC just a little bit. I'm not taking anything away from Kellen Moore. Please don't think that I am. But if you watch what he did with the Chargers and the Cowboys, you understand where I'm coming from.
Hey, it's AJL here. Appreciate you sticking to the end of the video here on YouTube. You could have chose any other show, but you chose my video, and for that, I'm very grateful. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media. Hit the bell on the channel so you never miss a post. Check me out on all social media platforms. Right here, you'll find a chance to subscribe to the show, a related video, and a playlist. See you guys in the next one.